Hey folks, welcome to another Triple T Thursday. For those just joining us, that's tools, tips, and talk, where we'll discuss info for the knife maker. In today's episode, we're going to talk about my Blade Show recap. And not just Blade Show, but after Blade Show, me and a bunch of guys went down to Brian House's shop in Florida for a couple of days of collaboration and fun. But before we get into that, let's talk about Blade Show. My good buddy Jared joined me, so let's go take a look at some pictures. Here our adventure starts in the San Francisco airport on the way to Atlanta. Friday morning we got the table all set up and ready to talk to people. For me, the best part of Blade Show, and really one of the main reasons I go, is to talk to all the fans of the channel. I really love meeting everybody and taking some pictures. This is James, who won the Patreon members portion of the Chopper Challenge. He won one of my hunting knives, which he got to pick up in person. So many other people came by the table, I probably missed a few picture opportunities. I even got a picture of this guy. Even though I had my eyes closed in the picture, I did have a good conversation with Walter Sorrells as well. Here we are in the pit after the show. Here's a shot of Brigham Kendall, John Norwood from Old Hickory Forge, and the AOC guys, Dustin and Devin. You could probably tell from the smile on my face this is a little later into the night and a few more drinks. This is Brian Cohn, and here, making faces with the Bald Man, Brent Smith of Bald Man Knife and Tool. On our way out the door to get some late night Waffle House, we ran into Trollsky. Here we are Sunday morning, finally got a picture with Chip Carlisle from the Knives Templars podcast. And the man, Mareko Mamasi, stopped by to say hi. Sunday was capped off by selling the shark knife from the Fantasy Challenge and a long chat with Jeff Royer, father of Kyle Royer, who got his Journeyman Smith rating this Blade Show. Congrats, Jeff. Blade Show sure was a lot of fun, as it always is, to meet people, talk to people, have some drinks in the pit. Such a good time. But of course, Blade Show isn't the same unless you bring a bunch of stuff home. Let's take a look at what I got.
So I'll take you through what I got at the show. So first, let's start with handle material. These are some beautiful giraffe bone scales, dyed blue. So very cool. Never used this stuff. These are from Baton Exotic Handle Supplies. So looking forward to using those. Then we get into a bunch of blocks, actually a set of scales and a bunch of blocks. Okay, and these are from Rob's Wildwood. This is, I should have wrote down what these were. These are definitely spalted, and this is a maple. I don't remember what these are. I think this is spalted maple. So very cool stuff. And then Flying Shark, I picked up some more. I'm really into this spalted wood right now, and this is some different colored stuff. So those look pretty cool. And then this synthetic, it's like a blue resin with some mesh inside, so that'll look really cool. And I also picked up this big piece of, I'm assuming this is tiger maple, dyed blue, so very cool. A bunch of stickers, some of this Wicked wax. This is like a cleaning, one's a cleaning wax and one is like a surfacing wax, so that's pretty cool. Blade Show bottle opener. And then a bunch of stickers from some cool folks. You'll be seeing these on my Instagram as I put them up. After Blade Show, we went down to Brian House's shop at Housemate and checked that out. And went and saw Crescent State Park and did some forging there, and you'll see some clips and some shots of that soon. At Brian's shop, we use some of his secret projects that I'm sure you'll hear about at some point, but use one of those to help finish this little knife. Actually, it's not finished, it's just ground. So that was pretty cool. So I'll be finishing this off and sending it back to Brian. So some cool stuff. I'll show you a bit more of what we did for the weekend.
The show wrapped up Sunday at 2. We were in the car on our way to Fort Myers by about 3. We needed a snack break, so we stopped at Buc-ee's on the way down. So Brian House contacted me about going down to his shop after Blade Show, what I thought was going to be just an informal gathering. Brian, his wife Sarah, and Brent planned out an amazing experience. There was a whole bunch of guys that went, myself and Jared, of course, Coy Baker from Baker Forge and Tool, Brian Cohn from B. Cohn Knives, of course Brent was there, Brian and Sarah, Brian's son Dexter, Brandon Geis from Creative Geis, Jordy Cox from Jordy the Knife Maker, Nick Tobin from Pickle Cutters, and Steve Kalb joined us from Kalb Ironworks later. It was an amazing time. I'm going to show you guys some pictures, but they ended up naming this the Foundry, and this is the Foundry 2023. So it was all about collaboration and looking at some new products they have on the horizons, but just getting together a bunch of great makers and just collaborating. It was really, really fun. I'll show you some pictures. We spent some time checking out Brian's new products and then moved on to making this amazing forge for Coy Baker, Baker Forge and Tool. This one is called the Helios, and it's a beast. Time to bolt the forge together. I think Nick got hurt playing with his nuts. At the end of day one, we pretty much finished the forge and on to day two. Brian had something set up really special for us. We went to Koreshan State Park, where Steve Kalb is the resident blacksmith, and we got to do some coal forging and make these cute little snakes. So here's some montages of what we did there. Here's a great summary video that Brian put together. It's in portrait format because it's meant for Instagram, but I think it's worth a watch. Being part of the Foundry 2023 was such an amazing experience. I'm really happy I went. Brian and Sarah did an amazing job. Brent as well, making us feel totally comfortable and having a great time. And thanks, Steve, for taking us through the blacksmithing at Koreshan State Park. Had a fantastic time. So much looking forward to next year's Blade Show. Hopefully you guys can join us there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one.